Inner Quest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to Inner Quest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Maureen Riley. Welcome, Maureen.
Thank you, Jay.
Well, I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about you and then look forward to learning more. Maureen brings healing and medicine, science and spirituality to her clients, including the famous Celine Dion. Maureen is a master healer, intuitive consultant, psychotherapist, educator, and speaker. She was awarded the first medical energy healing certification in the United States by a major alternative medical research center for the ability to read auras and direct healing energy that actually change cells. So, and I assume there was a scientific experiment or some type of measure. Gee, can we start with that?
Yeah, sure.
So, what was the experiment that proved that you were able to change cells?
Well, I'm going to back up just slightly and then head into that.
Okay.
Because the whole point and purpose is to understand that spiritual energy is what causes the physical world to come into being. So spiritual energy creates healing in the physical body. So the first experiment that was done trying to ratify this, because people don't understand that we are composed of rainbow rings of energy all around us. It's the invisible us, the subtle energy body that was designed so that we would learn to use it, that would move fast-moving spirit energy into the physical body and transmute physical energy back into spirit. So one of the most studied energy healers in the world was Rosalind Briere, who was one of my main teachers. Stanford University built the copper room that photographed auras, and it was the first time that science and sort of the spiritual came together, because they had equipment finally that could measure and read these beautiful scintillating bands of energy. And it's not just energy, there's actually information inside the energy. So Rosalind was fully clairvoyant. Her high sense perception, her ability to read the auric field is renowned. She can, direct vital energy through spiritual energy through her fingers and remove cataracts from people's eyes. And so she decided, look, regular Western medicine is looking at the effects in the body, but long before it gets into the body, there is a cause, and that's happening and can be read in the energy field, in the spirit body that we are designed to learn how to use. So spirit speaks intuition, spirit speaks psychic. Her abilities were very developed there, and she partnered with one of the largest alternative research hospitals in the country. And the head of that clinic was also a student of hers. He was a physician, but he too had the ability to see. His intuitive abilities were open. So they thought, look, we're not going to heal people unless we get to the root cause of things. And so let's have healers that are master healers, not just people that can change energy. She said to me, I don't care if you can feel energy. I don't care if you can balance energy. You have to run energy. We're going to have patients from hospitals that have been cast out as we can't do a thing for them. And I want you to go in and change energy in the tissue. And that's one of the, will tell you whether you're in the program or not. And I'd had 200 hours of energy healing and learning how to open my high sense perception as well. It was a fascinating thing. Physicians from some of these hospitals came. Some of the worst case patients came. There were the healers. The physicians put up, their charts on the wall. And for example, we had a woman who had breast cancer. And according to their charting, they were looking really just at the breast itself and wanting to remove it and showing, what they saw on the MRIs, etc. But when Rosalind and the healers when we looked at the aura, we saw, black cords going from the breast down into the ovaries and then into the root. And we saw colors that were off in the aura. And we had rainbow pictures and cords, and then we were diving into that information symbolically, because you can read it when you learn how to do that. And we could see that this woman had an abusive husband, and it started with her not feeling safe, and it shut down her power in her ovaries and in her second feeling center, which is also a woman's power center. Cancer often, according to healers, is a power issue. And so all of this was connected to the breast. So we realized, look, if you don't treat what's really causing this to appear up here in the breast, she's going to rematerialize this, even if you cut it out. And so that was what the experiment was. And it was fascinating. We worked on these patients. That woman, actually, I ended up working with a client very similar. And within about 8 sessions, we got down to, she did have an abusive husband. She didn't know how to stand up for herself. She had given her power away. And by the time you can clear it, it appears in the field, the spirit field, information about that illness, way before it ever gets into the body. So I worked on her, and she recognized that she'd given all her power away and that she didn't speak up. And I didn't see the presence of that tumor energetically scanning her, which is what I scan people and give energy assessments in my one-on-ones. And then we do life issues healing and then direct the spirit energy in to heal. I said to her, listen, ask your doctors to give you 2 more months. I really think that we're getting the root cause of this. And when you get to the spirit cause, it's done. It'll dematerialize.
What year was this?
Oh my gosh, this was 2000. I think it was 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2000. So we were trying to make Rosalind wanted to say, look, master energy healers, and our hands were measured, the frequencies were measured. The National Institute of Health has since done more studies on that.
And
that tumor was gone, I have to say. And her husband said, forget about it, you're going to go in and have it removed. And she had it removed, and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
So, we got to the cause and the core, and that's the point of energy healing.
Do you have a reason why medicine is so slow to embrace?
It's a completely different paradigm. You can't fit the one in the other. Spirit is fast-moving energy that links in and creates the body. So we say medicine is effects-based. Energy healing is cause-based. Physical, if you look at the physical, you're not going to see the cause. If you look in the mirror, you're not going to be able to see your inner world. Right?
Right, because you're focusing outward, not inward.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't include the inner world. It's germ-based. It's kind of segmented up.
Disease-based.
It's disease-based.
Material-based.
It's cost-driven, and it's material-based.
Yeah.
Right? And we're saying just the opposite. It's spirit-based. Spirit interfaces with the emotions, with the body, with the mind, and we aren't taught how to listen to ourselves because that language, I'm going to say we're disconnected from our spirit body, and we need to learn how to use it if we want well-being and health and love, really. But family patterning knocks that out.
Yeah. Do you help your clients connect with their spirit body?
Yeah, it's very exciting to do, because most people don't think that they can feel their own spirit high frequency energy just because they never have.
Mm-hmm.
So I provide like a jumper cable, a link. I expand the field. They get more information just from that, and then I guide them into experiences. We have to learn to take inner journeys and listen to our intuition.
And
they
so
feel
how do
it.
you do that? How do you do that with yourself and with your clients?
To take these inner journeys?
Yeah, or connect with the spirit body.
Well, as I said, spirit doesn't speak through the analytical mind. So it's not that kind of analysis, which is why therapy and things like that often doesn't create lasting transformation. You have to feel and sense it. It's a sensing feeling. So our soul is a feeling body. Our emotions are feelings. And they are linked, but we don't consciously link them. So I guide people into a place where maybe they have a symptom, like I have a, terrible pain here in my stomach, I'm anxious all the time. We'll use that as a doorway, because a symptom is a doorway back, and then I will guide them in. I always get information for them. I will see things, because most people don't have those capacities developed. Mm-hmm. We need to develop them. But it's amazing how quickly people can do it.
What percentage of your clients have some sort of physical ailment?
I'd say probably maybe half. The others are emotional patterns that are causing a ton of stress and dysfunction for them. They want better relationships.
And if they're able to deal with the emotions, then they're less likely to have some type of ailment in their physical body?
Absolutely, and that was actually a Nobel Prize was, awarded for that. I mean, Candace Pert.
Yes.
And the molecules of emotion.
Sure.
She found that there was literally tar on the brilliant network of light inside of each cell. And it was from emotions that were suppressed or wallowed in or not brought into information that connected us back to, hey, where's the truth or love in this statement? We don't clean it up because we aren't taught how to work with emotions. And so I do a lot of that with my clients. If you think I'm not deserving of love, you're going to end up, your field, your aura will broadcast out and communicate to the world how to treat you. You will have bad boyfriends, or a husband who doesn't listen to you or care about how you feel. It's that pattern. It's an inside-outside job. It's not an outside, now it's inside. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's journeying in to find, and they will. I'll see the cord wrapped around and leading to a mother that never was nurturing or supportive.
Do you actually see it?
I literally see it.
With your mind's eye?
It's like an inner imaginative movie. Mm-hmm. That's how it appears to me. And I can just sit and ask wherever I see something out of order or feel it, I will just sit and presence it and say, tell me about you.
And then
there's consciousness inside of energy and inside of us.
Can you ever draw pictures of what you're seeing?
Yeah. That's what we were doing when the doctors were showing their chartings and the healers were showing how we charted.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's black all over your heart here. That's actually not yours. You're carrying anger from your husband over here. There's yellow over here. There's a cord here that goes to a belief that says, yellow is mental belief that says, I don't deserve to be loved. Right? So how are you going to get health and well-being and love from that program?
And can some of the hurts in this lifetime stem from a previous lifetime, or
they can,
or be passed on genetically?
Well, I'm going to say that the reason that we only use about 10% of our capacities.
That much?
Yeah, I mean, it is because the programming that we get in utero from our DNA is already loaded, and our energy system records that programming. And most of us are just recycling and living out the programming of our parents. So, of course, everybody's been through starvation and wars and torture and traumas and, etc.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people carry guilt and shame
Absolutely.
for what they have done in the past.
Yeah,
Or their families done.
I've retrieved a lot of those stories, and where a piece of our soul doesn't go all the way to spirit and connect with our wholeness and stays trapped in time, reliving and repeating, like I'm a bad person because I didn't save my son, I saved myself, I left him in the forest, now I have a son who's constantly beating up on me and I can't get out of the bad loop, what's going on? And finding that information freed the pattern, right? If you do the inner work, you can do that.
Well, you are marvelously articulate. Have you ever written a book?
I'm writing one now.
Oh, okay. And is it, well, tell the audience what the book is about.
Well, it's really about that in order to reach into our multidimensional, brilliant, creative self and align with the gifts, talents, and purpose that we're here to gift into the world, which changes the world as each of us do that. We have to learn how to tune in to our inner being. Our inner being's connected to Source. That Source intelligence is in you and me and every single person. And a lot of our conditioning, culturally, religiously, says no, we're separate from that. We don't have that. And if we keep allowing that, we don't discover it. So my book is a journey through my own healing experiences. Just recently, I had took a picture, a CT scan, found a 2-inch pancreatic tumor. So that'll be a story in the book that shows this very principle. I know full well, and I can go into deep states of receptivity and silence. I can join that greater flow. And I go in asking, show me why you're here. What are you here as a doorway to? And I discovered that I had made a vow in one of those other times that because I could transmute the bad or the unhealthy in people around me, I would help them. Well, I was unwittingly storing bad energy in my own system. Now the pancreas really is about our ability to flow power and goodness into the world. So I was absorbing what was bad in the world, but it was starting to make me ill.
Yes.
Right? And so my higher purpose and mission, which is not only for me to flow the goodness and represent the wisdom and the love into the world, because I don't think we can change the world without that.
Yeah.
I had to have this thing that showed up to say to me, look, you got to change this. This program is not what Source believes about you. This is not what your spirit believes about you. You've got to change that. So I did. I got it, and it disappeared. I went back 2 weeks later and had another scan, and there was nothing there.
And how many years ago was that?
A month ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And my doctor didn't even call me back. Wouldn't even talk to me. It was like...
But you can get copies of the scans. You
I
have
have
proof.
them. I have them.
Yeah, that should be on the front cover of the book.
I think
That kind of makes it. Now, Alex Trebek has got pancreatic cancer, and he announced it. And what I like is people are coming forward who their cancer's been in remission or considered recovered. And I think you're just one more person that shows what we think is impossible, according to modern medicine, may not be.
Well, there's 500 studies that prove otherwise, and I'm going to say they're the best kept secret in medicine. And then the National Institute of Health has done a lot of studies. Elizabeth Blackburn won the Nobel Prize. She's a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but she was also a neuroscience person. And they took a heavily stressed population of women. And I really, that's part of my mission, is to help women because they're now the most stressed. They're opening more businesses. They're still mothering and momming.
Sure.
Okay,
running households.
They are running households, and they're exhausted.
Yeah.
And they want to make these big changes, and they don't have the spirit energy structure within them turned on and activated, which would allow that.
And they're not taking the time.
They're not.
To connect with their spirit
because
body.
they don't get that all healing happens from there and all expansion
well,
of
their days
energy.
are so busy.
Yeah, but it doesn't take that long. It takes a half an hour to learn to tune in. I teach people how to do that in 10 minutes, to turn on this extraordinary high-frequency energy of spirit. It's so fast-moving. The body is so slow.
Are you teaching that at Infinity?
I'm teaching that, and I'm teaching, see, if you tune in, what I'm teaching there is how to tune in. There's parts in your field, in your energy field, that have recorded what your special purpose is, what your gifts really are. And there's actually a spirit line, and all the places on it where you have blocks are also visible to you expressing that in the world. We all want to contribute. We want to do something that's
Have a
meaningful,
purpose, yeah.
right? And we want to be tapped into that joy. So I'm teaching how you can do that. I'm helping people to tap into the energy structure within them that holds that information.
And does that require some solitude and reflection?
It requires learning how to hold your attention in a very open, receptive way to yourself, without judgment. And a lot of people have great intuitive gifts, but those gifts and the gifts of compassion are often jettisoned in our culture. And people get afraid of their gifts. And religion tells people to be afraid of the information that they get from inside themselves. But our spirit body talks intuition. So
Yes.
we've got to listen. We've got to learn to listen. I help people tune in and start to see where their intuition's talking to them, and then we can go into the purpose line, and they can start to connect with it. And amazing things happen.
Did you start tuning in at a very young age?
I did, and I shut it down like a lot of healers, and I've had several near-death experiences and come back. But I used to see, I found a story that I had written when I was 6 that connected everything in the forest with silver, a matrix of silver wires. And I could hear the animals talking. The plants would tell me which plants to take for what. I knew where the secret places were, where there was high energy, where I could hear the angels singing. I'd sing with them. All that got shut down.
So this was...
Because my parents would say, you have such a vivid imagination. And I would start to tell them what I heard from their hearts going on inside. My mother would get so angry at me. That's not happening. You don't know that. That's not going on at all. You're just making that up. So I began to mistrust what those things were.
Did you eventually have to forgive your parents?
Of course, we all have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to forgive our parents for not being God.
Yeah. For being human.
Yes.
Yeah.
And ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I do a quick public service announcement. You're watching Inner Quest, which is sponsored by Infinity Foundation. And Infinity Foundation is a not-for-profit organization in Highland Park. Infinity has a center, which was put together by Nancy Marder and members of the community. And Infinity has many classes, which you are teaching a couple. Have you taught there before, at Infinity before?
I was scheduled to teach, and then I got sick, so I'm going to be doing it later. I'll be doing it probably this summer or fall.
Great.
That same course about how to find, discover, and align with your life purpose.
So, what age do you feel like you first found your life purpose?
I think I was on a vision quest in a cave right before I was going to get married, when most people were trying on veils and wedding dresses. And I said, I don't want to get lost in this marriage. I really want to know what my purpose is. And it rained for 2 days, and I was soaking wet, and I had to face every single fear of every bug and snake. And I had a dream and a vision in that dream that I would be going into the inner realms, and I would be taking energies from heaven and bringing them into the earth and moving them into healing for myself and others. And that's what happened.
And
I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
At the time.
How long did it take you to figure it out?
Probably another 8 years.
And where did you do this vision quest?
At the Garden of the Gods in
Carbondale.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there. And have you done vision quests since then?
I've done more than several, taken them myself on them. I have really great guidance, and I work with amazing angels. So I get a lot of information. They're trying to help us all the time. They need us to open up so that can come through.
Well, I just got the signal we have 2 minutes left. I can't believe how fast it's going.
It either. Well, just know
you're a wealth of knowledge and information. What else? What other suggestions or encouragements do you have for us?
Well, first of all, we have to be willing, and we have to learn. We have an energy field, and it interfaces with our bodies and with our souls. So, I mean, find somebody like me who does these sessions that can teach you about your own.
Where do you work?
I work in Chicago,
okay.
But I have an international practice as well, so I do a lot on Skype, and I teach. I have an upcoming 12-week Free the Gold in You, so that you can manifest and attract in accord with your heart's desires. So learn to take inner journeys, learn to connect with your high frequency spirit, to change your life.
And if people can't enroll in this upcoming 12-week class, there'll be another one down the road.
And I'm making an online version of it too.
Great, where people can just...
right, so they can go to purelyvital.com, which is my website, and they can get on my mailing list.
Can you say in like 20 seconds what the meaning of your...
Purely Vital.
Yeah.
Well, the vital energy is the energy of spirit that is the fountain of life.
And it's like a peak experience.
Yeah, and it's purely vital that we start to have them, because we're wired for ecstasy.
All right, I got to finish up now. For more information about Infinity Foundation and Inner Quest, stay tuned to the credits at the end. Until next time, wish you good health, good fortune, and good spirits. Maureen, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
That was.
For more information about this show, our guest, Infinity Foundation, or any of our other programs, please visit our website, infinityfoundation.org, or call us at 847-831-8828.